Welcome to Advocate Today. I'm Aaron Dean. Northwestern University is tapping former Attorney General Loretta Lynch to lead an independent review of its athletics program. The announcement follows lawsuits from football players and a volleyball player surrounding allegations of hazing and abuse. Northwestern says Lynch will review accountability mechanisms and the athletics department's culture. She served as Attorney General under President Barack Obama. And a New Jersey family is settling a bullying lawsuit for $9.1 million, the largest in that state's history. 12-year-old Mallory Grossman took her own life after being bullied by classmates. Grossman's parents sued the school district after their daughter died of suicide in 2017, despite the family's repeatedly telling school leaders about the issue. But Mallory's mother says schools need to wake up to what's going on.
I think that it's time for the schools to understand that we have an epidemic on our hands. I think it's time for the schools to start to enforce their policies. And if they don't have policies, now's the time to write those policies. This is a wake-up call for all school systems.
And we want you to know that if you or someone you know is struggling with their mental health, call the new 988 hotline. It provides immediate help and resources for those who need it. Again, the number is 988. Virginia's governor is updating guidance for school policies on how to treat trans students. The plan is to roll back some current accommodations and increase opt-out notifications for parents when gender identity will be discussed in classes. Arlington's school district superintendent is speaking out on those measures, and he tells me that every student counts, no matter what. During the recent board meeting, community members praised you for your ability to navigate the complexities of a pandemic, emphasize equity and invest in new curriculum resources. Could you share some specific examples of how you were able to undertake those things and, continue to push for a very healthy school system, specifically looking at, inclusivity?
Well, I think what's very important about what we had to do was stay focused on our students' needs. I'm all about what students' needs and looking at each individual. So I have a motto that I use that people know is my slogan, if you will, and that's that every student counts and that we really need to meet the students by their strengths, their name, and their needs. And so when you think about that, it was very important during the pandemic and throughout any of the efforts over my career in education to always keep students at the forefront of what our work is about. And so as we began to see after the pandemic, some of the concerns with literacy and some of the reading challenges, we shifted to a new approach to teaching literacy. As I understand and see the needs of our students, social, emotional, mental health challenges that they're going through, we put in supports for that. And now as we see the challenge that we're being brought forth by some in our state and others, trying to really make students not feel welcome and safe in our schools. And that's another challenge I need to take. So point being is as issues come about that are related to our students and what they need, whether it's instructionally, whether it's for their safety and well-being, or whether it's just feeling welcome and included, I believe it's my duty and my responsibility, superintendent, to put efforts into making those things a positive experience for our students. We're here to serve students, and that's the core of our work.
And like you said, addressing those challenges. Last week, you made a statement rejecting the updated model policies for Governor Youngkin's education department on how to treat transgender students. Could you kind of elaborate on what that is and how on your decision, and explain how your current policies protect the rights of transgender students?
And really, I really want to clarify that I just came out to stand up, continuing to support the policies that we have in place, which really I believe are to ensure that students feel safe and welcome, no matter who you are. I believe that regardless of your student background, whether it's the language you speak, whether it's the disability you may have, whether it's who you love or choose to love or gender, all students need to feel safe and welcome in our schools. And so as we reviewed the model policies that came out and the recommendations there, compared them to the policies that we have in place, and looked at the Code of Virginia, which actually speaks to putting in policies and practices that are based on best practices, and so evidence-based practices. And so combining all those areas, it was very clear to me that we would not be changing our policies, which really protect all students in their best interests.
And, how do you envision maintaining a supportive environment for LGBTQIA plus students, staff, and community within Arlington schools? What steps do you plan on taking to ensure, like you said, that you continue to put those students first and make them feel safe and welcome?
Well, one thing we have to have policies like we do, which is non-discrimination policies, which make sure that all students cannot be discriminated against, staff cannot be discriminated against, regardless of who they are. So those are very clear. We have professional development for staff on how to support all students. We have curriculum and materials that reflect all students and what they read and what they learn. And so we really make sure that we're very intentional about, I know I keep saying it over and over again, but it's very near and dear to my heart. And that's meeting every student by their name, strength, and need.
You know, we're seeing a lot of book bans across the nation. As an educator and an administrator, how does that make you feel? Are you concerned about it?
Yes, I'm very concerned about book bans that we're beginning to see across the nation because I believe that we should be having students have access to all aspects of materials that are going to help them learn. And some of the book bans I've seen are erasing the history of students and erasing the history and the truth about what's happened to, particularly what I'm concerned about is the book bans as it relates to books that are taking out issues for students of color, where we're starting to see a whole new narrative trying to be created about what actually happened. And so if our job is as educators to help students understand all perspectives, not one, they need to understand it from all different aspects. And when we start to ban books, then what we're doing in many cases is that we are taking away the power for educating all and educating the whole story.
One retired NFL player and advocate has a saying, hate in any form is wrong. He came out as gay after 9 seasons in the league, and Esera Tuaolo began the organization Hate is Wrong. Now, instead of tackling the quarterback, he's tackling bullying and creating more room for diversity and inclusion among youth in sports. But I really want to learn a little bit more about your organization called Hate is Wrong. Tell us a little bit about that organization and how that kind of plays into the advocacy work that you do.
Back in the days when I was in the closet, I tried to find a way to fight the fight within the shadows, right? And so I came up with the term hate in any form is wrong, right? So anytime somebody would lash out about women or the LGBTQ, I would say, dude, hating in any form was wrong. So that was my way, right? When the NFL was here, the Super Bowl was here, like 5 years ago, I turned that phrase into an organization called Hate is Wrong. And it's an organization and stuff that I created, right, to sort of kind of give back to the community. It was the organization for us to sort of kind of educate the sports world, especially the pro or the professional, and sort of kind of introduce them to the LGBTQ family, right? And so we do a Super Bowl party and a Super Bowl inclusion party every single year. We've taken some time off because of COVID, and we're slowly coming back. This year, we're going to be in Las Vegas. So what the plan was there is just to educate people and make sure people understand that we exist, right? Make sure that and educate them that the LGBTQ community is part of the whole community, right? We do an inclusion party where we bring in entertainers and we make it affordable so people can from all walks of life can come and enjoy and have a fun time. And then the educational part of it is the inclusion panel. And what we do with the inclusion panel, we bring in CEOs and people with organizations and stuff, and we bring them all together, and we sort of kind of try to figure out how to come up with a solution on all the problem with hate that's out there, diversity and inclusion. And it's such an amazing time.
I want you to kind of speak to that closeted athlete that may be watching this. What do you want to tell them today?
It does get better. The support out there for you. You will lose a lot of friends and you will lose a lot of family members, but I tell you what, the reward is of your happiness and your joy and everything of stepping out into your truth. You will be okay. And I promise you that. And I promise, I wish I would have known this when I played my 9 years in the NFL, because I definitely would have came out if I felt this way. So you're going to be cool. You're going to be okay. And you know what? Just be aware of your surrounding. Surround your people that support you. Surround yourself with people that love you. And then trust your heart and your soul. And I tell you, you'll be okay.
And thanks for watching Advocate Today. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to stream us live, and you can even subscribe on our YouTube channel. For the Advocate channel, I'm Aaron Dean, and this was Advocate Today.